Hello guys. In today's video I'm gonna be talking about Irithel, one of the deadliest marksmen in the game. And also talk about how she works in full details, which includes her skill, builds, emblems, and gameplay tips. So let's get started with the video. To master a hero, you must understand how their passive and skills work, so let's start with Irithel's passive. With the help of her passive, Irithel can cast her basic attacks while moving, and each of her basic attacks shoots out 2 crossbow bolts that deals 55% true physical attack per bolt, and moving up will build up her passive jungle heart up to a maximum of 10 units, and cause the next basic attack to unleash 1 additional bolt. Now, let's talk about her first skill. With the help of her first skill, Irithel shoots a round of arrows, dealing physical damage to enemies, and also reducing their physical defense by 15 for 3 seconds. With the help of her second skill, Leo lets out a roar, dealing 200 physical damage to enemies nearby, and also slowing them by 40% for 2 seconds. With the help of her ultimate, Irithel controls Leo to jump forward, and equips a heavy crossbow for 10 seconds, after which her basic attack will deal 165 physical damage. She also gains 30 extra movement speed for a duration of 10 seconds, and her passive jungle heart also accumulates faster during the duration of her ult. And you can also use her ultimate to escape and jump between walls, which is quite useful when chasing or running away from enemies. Now, let's talk about her early game. Like most other marksmen in Mobile Legends, Irithel is not very strong in the early game. So it is very important to know her limits, and farm safely in the early game. Getting as much gold as possible should be the priority before reaching 5 minutes, and her first skill is very useful in harassing enemies in the early game. The first skill can hit enemies even if they are in bushes. It also increases her movement speed, making this a good hit and run skill. Always use the opportunity to push the turret when there is no enemy nearby. In order to do this, a good map sense is very important, and having extra gold from the turret shield is very beneficial. It will increase the gold lead, and it's the best way to get the core items faster, and last hitting minions also gives you extra gold. Before we continue, here are some fun facts you didn't know about Irithel. Irithel is the first rider hero in the game, and she is also the first hero among those who can use their basic attacks while moving. And when her Night Arrow skin was first released, Leo's appearance closely resembled Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, and it was later changed to have a more feline look, likely to avoid copyright issues. And she is the first hero and the only marksman hero to receive a Zodiac-type skin. Now, let's move on and talk about her mid-game. During the mid-game, depending on your farming efficiency, you may have 2 or 3 core items. At this point, having a few core items, Irithel can deal a good amount of damage. And she can also kill squishy heroes very fast, because of her high attack speed. As a marksman, always wait for other allies to initiate, and wait for a good opening to go in for the backline, or squishy heroes like marksman or mage. Irithel has a small dash with her ultimate, so it is very easy to reposition in team fights, and try not to get caught by enemy assassins or burst damage. Now, let's talk about her builds and emblem. For her boots, buy Swift Boots, as Irithel needs attack speed to deal damage, and with the help of Swift Boots, you gain 15% extra attack speed. And after buying boots, start building Windtalker as her second item. Windtalker is one of the core items for Irithel. It gives you 40% attack speed and also critical chances. And for her third item, buy Berserker Fury. And then buy Has Claws for her fourth item. And then buy Malefic Roar and Wind of Nature for her last 2 items. And for her emblem, you can choose between the custom Assassin emblem and the Marksman emblem. The Assassin emblem will give you adaptive penetration and movement speed, while the Marksman emblem will provide you with attack speed and lifesteal. So make sure you choose the emblem that suits you better. And when playing against heroes like Saber, Ling, Natalia, Cho, and Hayabusa, you need to play carefully, because these are the heroes that can counter Irithel. Now, let's talk about her late game. Irithel is one of the best marksmen during the late game. She becomes very scary with a full build. Her critical damage will hurt like a nightmare to the enemies. Even tanks will be afraid to tank her damage. One defining characteristic of Irithel is her AoE basic attack from her ultimate. This makes her work very well with heroes that can displace and group up enemies. Although you may be riding an enormous beast into battle, it's important to play safe as Irithel, especially during the mid to late game. Always remember that the enemies will always try to kill you first in team fights, so stay safely positioned to avoid damage, especially from assassins and mages. You are your team's source of sustained damage, and to be able to do that, you need to be able to avoid burst damages. Make sure to wait for the burst and CC heroes to use up their skills, so that you'll easily be able to kill them. Positioning and timing is the key during most team fights. And as a marksman, always try taking the Lord whenever it's possible. Pushing turrets and taking out objectives is the main duty of the marksman in a team. Having tanks with high CC skills like Tigreal, Atlas, Valeric and more can increase the chance of winning by a lot. One good combo can turn the whole match. With proper positioning and a good initiation, she is able to wipe out the whole team. So, what do you think about Irithel? Would you consider using her to rank up? And what build do you prefer when using Irithel? Let me know your thoughts on the comments, and make sure to leave a like, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. You guys motivate me to make better videos. Thank you for watching.